Okay, this will teach me to be so rough on you. This is actually going to be easy because earlier in the show you were asked about blue balls, and particularly if you had used that line before, which is a really hard thing to cop to, so this is going to be easy. Show of hands if you've ever paid to have your palm read. Come on, come on. All right, it's a lot. All right. So maybe you noticed then that the most expensive thing to have done is your future. You know why? Because that can be tricky to pin down, right? That takes possibly some actual insight, I'm not sure. The cheapest thing is they just hold on your hand, sometimes they pretend to look at it, they're reading an aura or an energy or something like that to tell you what your personality is. And usually that only costs like $5, which is all I really wanted to spend, but I knew my personality, so I wasn't really excited about that. But what I learned from a friend of mine who actually does this in the summer is that the reason that's easy is because there are these universal personality things that you can say to almost anyone. I mean, forget even being sophisticated enough to read body language, that's good too. But you can just say certain things that will ring true for almost anyone. You can say, I can see your wisdom has been misunderstood through the years. Everybody likes to hear that. You can say, I can see you're not quite appreciated enough by those closest to you. And finally, the real core, absolutely die-hard, could never fail, is you can say, you're a little bit insecure. Because everybody, I mean, you're either obviously insecure, or, like most of us, or you're so cocky to compensate for being secretly inside insecure. Now, when I was a teenager, I was the obvious kind of insecure. I couldn't talk to anyone who was older than me. And if they were older than me, or even my age, but part of the popular crowd, and forgive me if some of you are here, it was like a person coming out of like a, what do they call it, a cryogenic chamber, like I'd been there too long, I'd just freeze completely. And I would stutter, I couldn't even get a single word out. Da, ma. It's like a baby again, reborn. Only a little less intelligent. And so, I had this one particular nemesis who's, I'm going to use his actual name, I hope no one knows him. His name is Mark Bryant, who actually later was a member of Hootie and the Blowfish, I found out, and this just really irked me. So he's, I guess, a millionaire. I don't know, he's the who knew? But he had that like blonde curly hair, which doesn't sound attractive, women I know, but it was like, I guess because of Blue Lagoon maybe? I don't know, it was big, it was big. And he really wasn't that attractive, but he was funny, and he used his humor for evil. I would never do that, he did. And I couldn't even get a word out, but he would make fun of me all the time. When I had this one class with him, animal science, and he used to pick on me all the time about what I wore, everything. It was horrible. I was normally in the like gifted and talented classes, so I didn't have to endure being made fun of for being a geek. But this class was a mix in the masses, and so it was the open torment. And but the thing is, his last name was Brian, and my maiden name is Chapman. So we are alphabetically close, and so often our lockers were in the same hallway, and we both played sports throughout the year. So there would come this time every day after school, after the basketball practice, when we would be alone together in this hallway getting our stuff out or whatever. I never was smart enough to figure out to just get my stuff before practice or something. I was always stuck in this hallway with Mark Bryant. And he'd always say the same thing. He'd talk to me. That was the only time he'd ever talk to me. And he'd come up to me and he'd say the same thing every day. He'd say, hey, Stephanie, he suddenly knew my name, right? He'd say, hey, I need a quarter. I'd call my mother. Remember when it was a quarter? And he'd say, you got a quarter? And every day I would give it to him. This person who tormented me around everybody. I was such an idiot, I'd give him this quarter. And finally, there came this day. I don't know what it was. It was like there was a ray of sun that came through the dingy window somehow and lit up the fact that he had like a little piece of, I don't know, hamburger or lettuce or something stuck in his teeth. And I thought, I would do that. I mean, he went all day since lunch and nobody told him. He didn't have friends good enough to tell him either. That would happen to me. And all of a sudden, I thought, he's not any different than me. And I looked at him, and I mean, I really looked at him. And I saw him for what he was. And I thought the only difference between him and me is that for some reason, he feels like it's It's my obligation to fund his daily phone call. I was put on this earth to give this, and the only difference is that he has an ego, something I had not yet learned to develop. But this was the start. This was my first step on developing my own ego. And so I turned to him. He just asked me, can I give you the quarter? He didn't even really say, can you just give me a quarter? It was more like now, it was like, give me a quarter. It was almost like bully. So I said to him, I'm sorry. Every day you ask me for a quarter, you seem to know my name, and I can't, do I know you? Have we met? And he was like, I'm Mark Bryan, D. Mark Bryan. I'm like, no, it's not ringing a bell. We ever had a class together or anything? Yeah, we had animal science together in 7th grade. Huh, did you sit in the back? Because you just don't look, I'm sorry. He was furious. He slammed his door shut, stormed out of the hallway, and never asked me for a quarter again.